Well, I get the joy of sharing with you fun ideas to do with your digital pictures. Different kinds of photo books and things that you can do. Forgive me when I look down, but I do have to look at my notes, so I make sure that I stay on track here. But digital photography is a thing now. We used to do the old-fashioned way with our cameras and go print our pictures and then put them in photo albums, and now we're all pretty much digital. And a lot of us are using our phones more and more and not our cameras. So we've got a lot of pictures on those phones, and they're great fun. You can pull it away from me. I feel like I'm getting feedback at myself. Is that good? Okay. It's a lot of fun. You can instantly see a picture. You can instantly send it to a friend by text, or you can send it to 10 at once by text. You can put them up on Facebook and Instagram in just a couple seconds. And you can delete it immediately if you don't like what it turned out like. So it is really a fun way to do photography. And I absolutely love photography. My daughter's a professional photographer, so she's always giving me hints and tips. But I take lots and lots of pictures. So a lot of times we take those pictures and then we may send one to a friend or put it on Facebook, and then they get lost in our folder on our computer, or they're lost in the history of Instagram and Facebook, and you just don't think about those pictures again. So with digital photo books, you can have a memory of those things, and they're also great, great gifts to share with people. And like I said, I love pictures, so I take hundreds and hundreds of pictures, and I still use my camera. When we go on vacation or to birthday parties or anything, I get my camera out and take them too. And I remember a vacation a few years ago, I took 2,000 pictures on this vacation. So just going through and looking at them was hard, and then figuring out which ones to delete was even harder. But I put them on my computer, did all that, put it away, and a few weeks later, my husband said, "Whatever happened to all those pictures?" Oh yeah, my family and husband and all of them like to look at those pictures too. So that's another good reason to put them in a photo book, because then you've got that and you can share it with people. And I love seeing other people's photos. So I'm always saying, "Oh, would you send me that when they take a picture? Oh, can I have a copy of that?" So we just love those pictures, and this is going to be a good way to share them, to have a keepsake, and they're great for gifts. Some of my favorite gifts are photo books that I've gotten that I'll show you a couple of. And kids, too, love them. My grandkids, I was actually getting ready to do all this, and I went up to the house. I was going to borrow some from my daughter, and there's photo books all over the living room. And I go, "What's going on?" She goes, "Oh, the kids get them out and look at them all the time." So they love looking at those photo books of all the things they've done with their family. And I was actually introduced to doing the photo books by my daughter, who made one for me as a gift one year, and then I started getting into it myself. And I just love doing it when I have the time. The advantages of picture books is one thing that I want to share with you, because there's a lot of advantages to making a homemade scrapbook or putting them in your slots in your photo album, printing them and putting them in your photo albums. It's lightweight. You can see all of these books. They're very lightweight books. You can get heavier ones too, but these are pretty lightweight. They're thin. They don't take up as much space. You can edit your pictures right there on the fly before you put them into print, so you can just adjust the lighting and do different things so that you bring out the quality in the picture. And you can really get as creative as you want to when you're doing a digital photo book. And the other thing is that there are photo books that can fit just about anyone's budget. So you can start with photo books from $6.99 on up to $100, depending on how big you get and the size of your book. But the really cool thing is there's always coupons available through these websites, which I'll tell you a little bit more about too. So some ideas for photo books. I brought a few to show you. Some of them are mine. Some of them belong to others. But baby books are one of my favorites. And this one is not specifically the baby, but it's my grandchildren. And my daughter made that for me. And it's just precious pictures of them over a 1.5 year period, from when they were tiny little babies on up. So those are fun. And, if you want it for your own enjoyment, you can make, a year in the life of, or you can make one that this is the day I was born, and do a photo book. And you can get so creative adding a newspaper clipping by taking a picture of it or scanning it into your computer if you have a scanner, and then adding that to your photo book. So you can do little things besides just the pictures of people. You can add things that really speak to the history of that moment. And then when your child grows up, you can give them that baby book. I remember we used to do baby books, that we wrote things in and tried to keep up with over the years. I did great with my first daughter, and my next two still in there waiting to be finished. So, but anyway, great fun things to do with babies, and I'm really into baby books and grandkid books right now because I have 6 of them, so I love to get pictures all the time. Another one is Wedding Memories, which I think I put right here. And these are pretty basic books with the black cover, but you can do the night of the wedding, with all of the pictures in there. A lot of the wedding photographers, they'll give them a CD of the wedding, and then you can go and you can create your own album. So my daughter actually created her own album and then gave me a copy for myself as well. And birthdays and anniversaries, and this one is really, really special to me because my daughters went out and asked people to send them a letter written to me about our friendship or, growing up in a family with me, and then they put it to a digital book with just the memo that they put into digital copy and then pictures. And so I've got this memory book with letters from people that just really so touched my heart. One that my daughters did it for me, and then reading the things, that friends and family said were just really precious. So that's just a really special keepsake. You can do that for, birthdays or for a special anniversary for a family member. So, lots of things that you can do with a memory book. So you can add, that's another thing you can see you can do is add text to all of these memory books. So you can create your own story with your pictures, which is really cool too. Vacations are great. This is one my daughter did for Disneyland, and so there's lots of pictures of Disneyland and with the characters and lots of little things that she wrote in there about what was happening at that moment and the excitement of the vacation. And I like to do that for some of ours just to get some into a book so then my husband can actually look at them occasionally, and I can share them with the family, oh, this is what we did. So those are really fun too. And then one of my little favorites are these accordion books. And these are gifts that my daughter's been doing for me every year. So that was when my precious little grandbaby Carol was born. And then on the back side, there's pictures too. And so she put a beautiful scripture on there with a picture of all the kids. So each of those are like that. And she's given me one. Well, I've got 3 now, so I'm sure I'll get another one pretty soon. But I love them. You can carry them in your purse. So it's kind of like carrying your grandma's brag book, they used to call them. You'd have the book and these are my grandkids. So you can carry them in your purse, but now I display them because I can't keep all of them in my purse. So, I display some and keep one in my purse. But those are really fun. Those are from Mix Book is the name of the company. And you can create them any way you want to. They even have little calendars on there. So if you still use a hand calendar, you've got a calendar that you can fold out and get all the months of the year on those. So those are really fun to use too. And then one of the things I really want to share with you, this is what really instigated us to talk about digital photography. It came up during our meeting that Amber had a really special recipe book and that it was digitized, and how fun would that be to share what you can do with digital. And I have to tell you, I read through this whole thing. It is the most precious book I have ever seen. It's useful. It's got recipes in it, so you get it out and use the recipes, so you're seeing these things on a regular basis. But it says Recipes from Grandma Knapp, and it was made by one of Pastor John's sisters, and a tribute to his mom and all of the special things that she did for all of the holidays that they get together for. But it doesn't just have the recipes, it has pictures of family members, and it might have one family member, this is what I liked best, the recipe, but it also has a history of her. So there's pictures, there's a dedication to his mom, which is so touching. I read through the whole thing and was like, oh my goodness, this is just amazing. In the back, there's an entire history of his mom and his dad's meeting and, just their life. And, what a labor of love this one. This is just really a special, special book. But, you can do things like that. Useful books that they're going to get out and use all the time, and then they get to, that special memory often. Great recipes, too, in here. But it is just one of the most precious things I've seen and just so beautiful. On the back, the home that she lived in during the Depression, or a picture of one that looked like it. So isn't that really beautiful? So that's something you can do too. And I was going to give you some ideas on other books that you can do, and that was the first one on my list is Heritage. That's really a bit of the family's heritage too, written into that recipe book. So really cool. But you can do family heritage books. I've been digitizing old black and white pictures, from my great-great-grandparents' day. I've got tons of them that were given to me that have just been in box. So I've been scanning them into my computer and putting them in a file. And so what I really want to do when I get time is to create a heritage book or like a family tree and write who they were and what the time period was and how they got here, and leave that as a legacy for my children and grandchildren, that they'll know what their roots are. So that's something I'm working on now. That's going to take me a while, but something that you could do too, which is a really cool thing for your future, the future great-grandchildren and people that are coming in your family. So, and then you can do family yearbooks, a year in your family, where you pick out the fun activities you did for the year, or for your children, you could do a year in the life of your child, because so many, I know of you moms have children that are in all kinds of activities, and they've got school, and they're doing art projects and science projects, and so you can take pictures of a lot of those projects and then upload them and digitize them, so you can really do a full year of, this was this year in my life, and then they've got that for the future too. And I did one for my daughter when she graduated from high school. Again, my first daughter, my second daughters are still waiting for theirs, but I've got it all in a box ready to go. Thank goodness they're very forgiving on that. But I did it all by hand, so I had every piece of artwork, all of their report cards, certificates that they'd gotten, and then pictures through the years. So I created a scrapbook with that. What I'll do if I can get to my other daughters now is digitize all of that. The books are thick. By the time I got done after 12 years in school, it was 2 of them that were pretty thick. But when you digitize it and take pictures of them, then you've got it all in a nice thin book, and you've got those memories that are there, and pieces of paper that won't get lost. Because I kept little, they'd do a little piece of art for me on a little piece of paper, and I kept it. So I've also digitized all of their artwork so that I can just make an artwork book, that shows all the art from the time they were 3 years old on up until when they graduated from school. So that's another idea too, if you keep all of the little art things that your kids do for you. And then one last thing I'll share with you. 2 things. The journal book, which I saw, which I thought was just a really cool idea for a gift, is you can put a scripture verse in and then put a picture, maybe of them or of things you do together or things that they love, and then leave the page blank, and it can be given as a journal book gift, which is really cool. It was a very pretty thing. And one last one that I saw online that I thought was so adorable was a kid's feelings book. And a mom had done this book of her little son. He was probably, 2 or 3, with all these different faces, so like, I'm mad, I'm really excited, I'm sad. It was just a precious book. So all those pictures of the kids, I'm sure that you'll find plenty that you could do with something like that that's really fun too. I was thinking even me as grandma, I could do it and give it to my daughter, and she would get a kick out of something like that too. So then the question is, how do you do all of these books? And there's lots of companies. We put some in your little book that are websites that you can go to. There's a lot more. These are just a few that I put in there. There's some that my daughter and I have both used. So you pick the company that you want to do it with, and you go onto their website, and then you pick your pictures that you want to put into the book. And the way that I find it best to do it for me is to make a little file on my desktop that is, whatever you want to title it for the book you're going to make, and then drag pictures into that file. So, you can drag and drop them from other places that you have them. And then you have that little file, and you just upload that whole file to their website. And then you'll pick the size of book you want. There's lots of sizes. The template you want to use, there's lots of templates that you can choose from. Lots of fun things. There's different designs. And then you can pick your cover. They always have lots of covers. Or like this one that my daughter did, you can create your own cover with a picture that you have and with some writing and things. And then you just drag and drop your pictures into the little picture boxes. So it's dragging, dropping, and if you don't like it, you drag it and over to another place, and they switch places. And so it's kind of fun watching it change as you do that. And there's always text boxes so that you can just write a sentence, put a scripture in, or tell a little story if that's what your goal is with the books. So lots of fun things to do. Then you review it, you save it, you order it, and you're all done. But if that sounds like too much for you, because some people get overwhelmed with that, you can, before that, I want to tell you too, if you're really ambitious and want to do more, you can actually create your own pages. They'll give you blank pages and a blank slate, and then you drag in different picture boxes and text boxes, so you can get as creative as you want to get with doing it. But like I said, if that's just a little too much and you're thinking, I don't have time for any of that, there's a new thing called chat books. I don't know, a lot of you may be familiar with them because it was created for your phone and Instagram and Facebook. And I just want to share a brief little history because I thought this was so interesting. So this mom, her son was in his room and he had gotten a photo book from his teacher. Apparently she had made one for everyone in the class and given it to them at the end of the year. And by the way, that's a fun thing too. You make one book, you can order as many copies of it as you want. So, it's really easy to give another book out. Versus, when you have photos, you have to order more prints and, separate them and do all of that. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, he's in the bedroom and she said he's always getting into that book and looking at all the pictures and just loving it. And she thought, I need to digitize some of my pictures, but I don't have time for any of this. So she created chapbooks, which is, I'll explain it to you in a moment, is the fastest thing you'll ever see for doing books. And that one woman created it, to do for her family. Today it's a company and they have 70 employees working for them. So, that was quite the creative genius there. You can also use Chatbook on your computer. I did one from my computer. I uploaded pictures from my phone to my computer and then did it from there as well. For me, I like the big screen when I'm trying to do a lot of that stuff, so that was good for me. But so I made one. These are chapbooks. My daughter had one for her children that was from her phone. These are just pictures from my phone. That's all that's in there. I just did the quick way. And they're dated, so they go in chronological order through the last couple of years, and there's just pictures of all of them. So the way that you do them is you get a Chatbook app on your phone, and then you open it up and it will intuitively bring you to your pictures, and it'll ask you to click on your pictures, and then you start going through your pictures and you swipe left if you don't want the picture and you swipe it right if you do want it. And the right ones going to the right are all going up into a book, and then you go online and you look at it, and if you like it, you can order it right then. You can also put a nice cover on it. This was my own cover on mine. I just found some hearts and put on the front. You can pick one of theirs. They have tons of different ones to pick for that have lots of themes, and you just drop it in there. And you can put a text box in the front too that maybe about what it is. So really, that is really fast. It was done in about 10 minutes when I got done with it. So that's a really cool way to gather them. And I think they're all this size. I haven't seen the other, but so they just stack up and they put the date on there and what it is, and you can actually name it if you want to on the side panel. So those are really cool, and those are fun to give out too. And then Walgreens has something called Print Book, and I think they're trying to do what Chatbook did. So I tested one just to see what they're doing, and I loved the spiral. I thought that was really cute, but it's really pictures that they just took my pictures that I uploaded and created glossy prints and put them in there. But that's fun too. If you wanted to give a stack of pictures to somebody, you can do that. Or if you wanted to give them to 2 or 3 people, you could do that. This was $6.99, but Walgreens has 50% off sales all the time, so you can always get them for a lot less than what the retail price is. And so that was another thing that I just wanted to tell you about the companies too, is a lot of them have coupons all the time. Shutterfly is one that my daughter and I use a lot, and they've got 50% off coupons a lot. They have some right now. I was just on there looking, and they have some. So what you can do if you have time is you can make your album, and if you're not in a hurry to get it printed, make your album, save it, and you can leave it right there. And then when they have a coupon, you go back on, use their coupon, and buy the book. So I do that a lot if I'm not in any rush for them. I just wait for the good coupon before I order the book. But you can have it all ready to go when the coupon comes out. And Shutterfly is great because they will give you a coupon for a free book after you order, I think, about 3 books. Then you'll get a coupon in the mail, and you'll get a free little book that you can make too. So they're always wanting that customer back again. So that's pretty cool. And so I went on to look up who were the best rated ones for you. And there's a company called Editor's Choice, and what they are is professional photographers. And so they rated for 2017 who they thought the top sites were for people like us, the hobbyists that are doing this kind of thing. Their number 1 was Mixbook. It got a gold star because it basically has everything. What they're looking at is they're looking at the designs, the quality of the paper, and the pricing, basically. And so that one got rave reviews. It was top, and actually gold star meant that it was far and above. And then Shutterfly and Peekaboo and were 1, 2, 3. And then another editor ranked Adorama Pix as a third one. Those are all really good. I've used all of them, and they really are good quality. I mean, there is good a quality as the quality of your picture, but the paper that they use is really good quality, which is important for longevity for your pictures. And then they're all comparable in price. So really, all 4 of those were pretty comparable in their price ranges for the books. And Walgreens, Walmart, Costco, Snapfish, those are all really good too. We've used them, and they do a really good job on your pictures. So if you really struggle for a gift for Christmas or for a birthday or anniversary, I would encourage you to think about doing a photo book for someone, because I know that they are some of my most cherished gifts that I've received. And I'll leave these up here so you can come up and take a look at the books, and you can ask me questions if you have anything after. Thanks, ladies.